Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to a very familiar place, but also very different at the same time. This is Metroid Prime, a game that, yes, I have played before quite a few times on this here Twitch channel, this year alone. But here is something, and I'm not proud to say it, here is something I have not done in at least 10 years. So much so that I can't even find any save files of this aside from one at 4% on one of my memory cards. We are going to play on the Lord's console today, the Nintendo GameCube. Like I said during my revisit of the trilogy, of course, I had this game, I played it on the GameCube. Most of my playtime on this series was the Prime Trilogy for Wii, because I firmly believe, even over remastered, I believe with the pointer controls is the best way to play this trilogy. And this game. But, as you know, like I said, I played my fair share of it on there. I played my fair share of it Prime Remastered on the Switch. It's been a long time since I've played on the GameCube, so... One, I thought this would be a fun thing to do before the Air Riders kick starts next week, because we'll be riding that wave right into Prime 4. I thought this would be a fun thing to do. And just for the pure novelty of it. I mean, this is Metroid Prime here. It's been so long since I played it on here. I'll have various commentary throughout how it compares and whatnot, I'm sure, but the main thing we're discussing today is today's Prime 4 happening, so oh boy, because there's a lot to discuss. A lot of good, in my opinion, almost all good, but don't tell most people that. There's a lot of negativity coming from fans and media outlets too, which is kind of what stirred it all. I think they're over-exaggerating. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. I thought about unboxing this game. Maybe Tuesday we'll do that. Or another time in the future. This won't be the last time I do the GameCube version of this game on stream, for sure. But yeah, so it'll be fun to see, since I'm so used to changing my vision with the pointer controls of the dual stick, how much this messes with me, because it's been so long since I did it. Alright. Do I get to change difficulty yet? Apparently not. Okay, I was going to change the difficulty if I could do that, but I believe you need to beat the game once to do that. I was going to go balls to the wall hard mode. Unidentified distress beacon has been tracked to a derelict space vessel in orbit above Talon 4. Yes, we know, we've done that before. Still looks flawless. You can put this one, the Wii one, and the Metroid Prime Remastered all right next to each other, and of course Prime Remastered's gonna look the best, but come on now. Come on. Retro is always ahead of their time. Always. And they aren't really ahead of the times right now, but they've already made the best looking Switch game. Yes, Metroid Prime is the Remastered is the best looking Switch game. And now that's the second best looking Switch game because Metroid Prime 4 looks phenomenal. You know, Retro gets the most out of Nintendo hardware like nobody else can. Yes, we're gonna watch the cutscene. I don't even know if I can skip it, to be honest, but considering this is essentially a new memory card. When was the last time I played this on here? Because every time I've played it, it's been on Wii for as long as I can remember. This might be a lot longer than 10 years, honestly. That was most of my playtime on this game. It really was. There she is. There's our girl. She's so cool. Almost jumped the gun there. Yeah, it's different, that's for sure. I'll be honest, I don't remember how to open Scan Visor. There it is. It'll come to me quick. Oh, yep, I remember the R button. That lets you do that, yep. One thing in this game, I am going to try to 100% this, of course. We're not going to do scans or, like, read lores this time, though. We're just going to, you know, we're running and gunning it. Especially since we want to do this in 2 days. Getting used to everything here. Wise missile, right. Yeah, anyway, I lost my train of thought. Retro's always been ahead of the times when it comes to Nintendo graphics. They really have. And again, right now you can't say they're ahead of the times based on like modern standards, but I mean, again, it's the best looking game on the console. I'm trying to not immediately get into the... Actually, you know, there is a lot to discuss, so we might as well get right into it. So, as you all know, Nintendo released a overview trailer for Metroid Prime today. And that was... just watching that alone got me excited. There's a lot about it I liked. They talked about the bike a little bit. And they really didn't introduce anything more to do with the bike, which, again, I thought those fears were always overblown. I don't think that that's a major focus of the game, nor was it open world. It never was going to be. It's just really, it was never a chance of that happening. And they discussed that a little bit. They discussed, I kind of regret watching it. I'm gonna try, once I'm done with all this, like, now that I saw what I needed to see today, I'm gonna mute everything Metroid for probably the next 3 weeks, so I can forget what little I did retain. And, because I want to go in as fresh as possible. They showed a lot today, maybe a little more than I was comfortable with. But they showed what appears to be all of the explorable areas. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a couple more, but they seem to have basically named all of the areas today, all of which I do not remember, and I'd like to keep it that way. So, yeah, that was exciting. Like, we have basically the same amount of areas to explore, with a little hub, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, a little mini open world in between. All of it's exciting, and I will say, there's mixed opinions on this, of course. When I saw that there were Federation troopers to interact with, I figured there might be like side missions or something, and for all we know, there might be. But it looks like these guys are part of the main quest. There's dialogue. Above all else, they have personality. Like, the one was, I think, worried about getting his back to his wife and kids or something. Another guy, there was a lot of talk about family and just wanting to get home. It seems like, and you never know, they might raise the stakes. Something might happen to one of these guys. It's just like kind of like they build them up as these characters that you want to root for, and then they might, you know, it's a dangerous world. It's one of them might die, and that might enhance the story. You know, like, the fact that there's like a more human element to it. Like, of course I love the isolation of Metroid, but I absolutely love what Corruption did. Sometimes they went a little overboard with it, a little too much interaction here and there, but I believe that they struck an almost perfect balance there, and it looks like they might be doing that again. I am very, very happy. I thought they might have been afraid to re-implement any of the changes that they included in Prime Corruption because some people didn't like it. I'm so happy that they still kind of kept that DNA in this series, because yeah, isolation's important in the Metroid series, but also I think it's cool to have like for world building, a connected world, a human interaction element, and I think they're going to strike the perfect balance in this game. Alright, we gotta scan if we want to aim at its head. Got one through. Look at that. I am a professional gamer. So that was basically what they showed. They showed the explorable areas. They showed like your combat and stuff. I remember they did show a lot of the abilities you get. I don't remember like half of them, and again, I want to keep it that way. I know you get psychic abilities, like the telekinesis beam, whatever the hell you want to call it. That we knew already. That's fine. But they showed some other things that I'm trying to forget. There's one that I know is going to be ingrained in my head, and it would have been such a cool surprise, but it is what it is. I should probably activate the elevator, huh? So they just went through over all the basic stuff and whatnot. They still barely talked about Silex, which is good. I would like to learn more about Silex beyond, of course, the basics we already know about the guy. I'd like to learn that through the game. Kerbluey. Yeah. Oh. Have I played this game before? Technically, yes. Oh, hi. So yeah, all that was great. I thought it was the perfect overview trailer. Yeah, it was just a perfect overview trailer. Basically everything. I thought they might surprise us with a multiplayer mode. I guess they still could, but that seems pretty far-fetched. I'm kind of glad there isn't one. To an extent, you know, I'm not much of a multiplayer gamer these days. It seems big to the point where it's like, it's going to be the biggest Metroid game ever, but it also seems compact and small enough at the same time to where you could have your typical usual Metroid shenanigans here, try to speedrun the game and beat it in one sitting. I'm sure that's a possibility. Doesn't have to be one, but I'm sure it is. I'm happy that there's voice acting in this game, and it appears to be high quality. It's like, and even the Prime 3 Corruption, the voice acting in that game was underrated, like, for its time, especially for a Nintendo game. First party, like, they typically don't do that. So far, the controls really aren't messing with me that much, other than the scan visor. But yeah, I'm very happy with that. A lot of the characters seem very, very interesting, too. I want to explore, and of course, they're probably going to be one-off characters, whether they survive the events of the game or not. They're going to be one-offs, I would imagine. I don't think we'll see these guys in, like, a Metroid Prime 5 or anything like that. And it's probably not down the line either. I don't know. Because we know where the Prime series, as from what we know at least, we know where Primes 1, 2, and 3 are located. You would assume Prime 4 is right after it. But the farthest this game could be, I believe, is like right after Super. Just based on pure logic. And open sesame. So yeah, basically everything has me excited for it. I really don't have any concerns. I have one maybe mild concern, but that's like an absolute doomsday scenario, and I don't think that'll happen. Again, I loved the changes. I loved this game. I loved the slight tweaks and changes they added to Metroid Prime 2. I loved the tweaks and changes they made to Metroid Prime 3. They're all like kind of different games, even though they all come from the same like DNA. I can't think of anything they would add to this game or do to change the Metroid formula that would make this a bad game for me. For the life of me, I cannot think of it. I've always said the Metroid Prime series is the one series of games that I have always thought was flawless. Any other series I talk about, like, you know, 3D Zelda is one of my favorite game series, if you can call it one. There's things in there where and you know, like flaws, I consider flaws like something that slightly diminishes the game for me. Like Majora's Mask and Time Thing's not my favorite. Skyward Sword, the motion controls are annoying. I love that game to death, though. I want to make it clear. Not a flawless series. Paper Mario, I love my first game. I love N64, as you know. I love TTYD. I love Super, and I like Origami King. But someone's not played Sticker Star, you know. Meh, but it's ass. Star Fox again, 64 I think is flawless. Assault I think is flawless. Adventures I love to death, but it's a little flawed. And Commands I just don't think is a good game. And my other one in the top 5, as we know, is Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't need to go into that about how that series has been flawed more than once. But this specific series of games, the 3D first-person, the Metroid Prime series, is a flawless series of games. I kind of went off on a tangent there, I apologize. As I typically do for these types of videos when I'm discussing happenings. I think they're flawless. I can't think of anything that would ruin Prime 4 for me to where I wouldn't think it was flawless. I really can't. Like, they would really have to try. But I guess that brings me to my next point. Now let me be clear, I slightly, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I agree with this statement, like, you know, let me try something while I'm here, actually. That's not, I know how to save. That's not what I wanted to try. Let me focus on something here, because I've never done it before. I don't think I'll be able to get it. It's, what's it called? I'm not gonna be able to do it. There's no freaking way. Yeah, I can't. No, we're not even gonna attempt this. You know what I was going for. I can't do that. I haven't even played this game in over 10 years on the GameCube, let alone try to do a speedrunning strat. So yeah, let's just keep it simple. But anyway, that brings us to Phase 2. So today, Nintendo had a preview event, I believe it was last week. Those people that went to the preview event weren't allowed to talk about the game or post their reactions until today. Because I guess that's when Nintendo was releasing the overview trailer. And boy, oh boy, did some of those reviews really stir the pot. I will say I love all the publicity Metroid's getting right now. I didn't realize this many people were paying attention. That makes me very happy. But man, oh man. All of the, I'm gonna call it what it is. I get it. I get the concern. This, Miles McKenzie guy. I get the concern. I think my game froze. It's bound to happen. That's fine. That's a minor hiccup. Oh, the music did freeze. I thought the music kept going. Okay. That's fine. That was bound to happen. This is, as I always say, I took piss poor care of my GameCube discs back in the day, and God, I'm not proud of it. Luckily, we just saved.
Pizza time.
Oh, Sess is here. Enjoy some pizza time while I reboot.
I'm him. I've been him. I will continue to be him.
Top of the morning, Sess. Happy Friday. Happy Coochie Friday. How are we doing today? I will continue on my tangent after I say hello to Sess. Also, are y'all hopping in Discord? I saw our boy summoned us for some port sport in his words. I will not be playing, of course, but if y'all are in Discord when I'm done here, I will join. Where are we? There we are. The egg sack. Yarr, it be Ferrigriff Friday. Let's try this again and hope it doesn't freeze. I don't think it'll happen a second time. Famous last words. Holy shit, it happened a second time. That's concerning. Am I fucked? That's not good. I don't like that happening in the same spot twice. Let's see here. Let me do some disk cleaning quick. This is what happens when you do it on OG hardware, folks. Let's see. Yeah, there's scratches on this. I did not take care of my shit. And I regret it every day of my life. Turn that on for some music. Do the old lick and wipe. Here we go. Yeah. Cleaning off with my badass Shadow the Hedgehog shirt. God, if I keep freezing here, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna play? I actually kind of know what I'm gonna play. If it freezes again, if it freezes a few more times, I kind of know what I'm gonna play. The first game that popped into my head, even though it wasn't a Prime game, but that's what I'll play instead. I really hope this doesn't freeze again. I'm going to be very, very depressed if my GameCube Metroid Prime disc is fucked. I mean, this ain't the best GameCube anyway. It's been... I don't know what it went through before I got it, but... You can hear it struggle sometimes. Ass cheeks. Now let's give it a minute here. Give it a second. I don't think it'll matter. It's either gonna freeze or it's not. Making sounds again. See if we make it through this time. Bingo, baby. All it took was the good old lick and wipe, ladies and gentlemen. It's all it took. They tend to forget that I'm him. No one licks and wipes like I can. So let me see here. I want to see something here, because this has been a... Now that I know my game's working, I can... Hint system. Off. Leave it on for the novelty of it, because we know where to go. It doesn't really matter. It's very cool that Samus has a Nintendo GameCube in her, like, visor system. So you can turn the hint system off. I'm going to assume that's going to be a mechanic in the next game. So anyway, back to the tangent I was about to go on. I just discussed everything that I think is good about the game, and honestly, I'm going to continue to do that. But, so where I left off was everybody doom posting and shit today. This is why I try my best to not engage in, like, social media gaming banter anymore, because people just post out their ass anymore. It's just constant doom posting, like, just constant complaining. Nobody's ever happy with anything. I am downright thrilled with this game and how it looks so far and everything they've put into it. But there's a certain man that goes by the name of Miles McKenzie that everybody hates. And I'm kind of shocked at how universally the, like, journalists have been going off about this, too. So, there's this overwhelming concern that, first of all, I'll point out right here, like, if you have the hint system on, the game does not stop. Like, the game's telling me where the save station is right now. So I don't know why we're outraged about that. Yes, you can turn it off. You can probably turn it off in the new game. So it's probably not a problem, but people are going crazy over it. This, Miles McKenzie guy is essentially the beginning of the game tutorial. And all of these journalists played the first 60 to 90 minutes or so of the game. And one person even said, like, his heart dropped when this Miles McKenzie guy told him to turn around after he walked past the save station without using it. You're playing the first hour of the game. It's a tutorial. That right there is my thoughts on the matter. Again, I understand the concern. I get it, and they did highlight other companions. Like, they made it sound like you will be having other companions that will follow you around for portions of the game. If that is done incorrectly, or it's too overbearing, it could have a negative impact on the game. Again, it would not ruin it for me, but it could prevent it from reaching masterpiece status, that's for sure. Like, flawless status, like I said about the rest of the series. That could happen. Do I think that'll happen? No. Like, I would put that at, like, maybe a 10% chance of happening. So again, I get the concern. I accept it. That's a legitimate concern for people to have. But to be doom posting, saying, oh, it's so over, and this and that. I liked, I think it was Nintendo Life's take on it. Metroid Prime 4 looks amazing, but I want to kill one of its NPCs. That I get. That would be my take on it, if anything. Like, if the character's annoying, then yeah. Like, yeah, then that doesn't, I don't want to say that sucks, but, like, you know, then yeah, if you're annoyed by the character and he really, like, bothers you that much, then yeah, it's a legitimate concern. Maybe he'll bother me that much, I don't know. Am I that worried about it? No, because once he's out of my hair, I'll be doing something else. But this guy has caused so much controversy because of the way he looks. Apparently he's also partially comedic relief for the first portion of the game. Now, it is confirmed that... Ass cheeks. It is confirmed that ass! I can't get out. I think we're cooked, gang. I just died. I'm not even a Metroid Prime player. Anyway. Call that one, GameCube rust. Even though I play the GameCube all the time. Anyway. This guy has stirred such a frenzy online. Do I think he looks dorky? Yes. Have we ever seen anything like him in the Metroid universe? Absolutely not, we haven't. Nothing close to him. But just because we haven't had it before doesn't mean we can't. And from what I understand, I don't think I'm gonna like the character either, I'll be perfectly honest. Those types of characters can get a little annoying and be a little overbearing. Like, I saw the one clip where it's just like, you're quiet, you know that? And it's just kind of like a meta reference, because Samus never talks, and I think that's funny. But if there's a ton of quips like that, it could get annoying. I don't like that formula typically. But that's one character. Do I think the other characters in the game are going to be like that? Hell no. So here's my overall take on the situation without rambling on that part of it for too long. Supposedly, all these die-hard Metroid fans, myself included, wanted this game to have commercial success. And for that to happen, it needs to appeal to a broader audience. Most Metroid Prime fans, Metroid fans and like the die-hard like fans that are going to buy it no matter what, said they want this to they want it to stay true to its roots, but they want it to shake up the formula so it would appeal to a broader audience and sell well and become much more of a commercial success. That seemed to be the general consensus. People want this game to do better, and it needs to make some slight tweaks and, you know, shake up the formula a little bit, you know, still be Metroid Prime at its core, but shake it up a little bit. So, more people... Fuck! Those things are brutal! And then I can never get back up! Fuck! That's tough on this version of the game. You get hit off once and you're kind of just stuck. Alright. I'll just end the stream now. I stink, folks. Anyway, let me continue talking about Metroid Prime and the series like I'm an expert. Here's my overall take on the situation. Given all that I just said, that the formula needed to be shaken up and some things needed to be added, potentially, to make this appeal to a broader audience. Well, do you know what's in a lot of modern games? Hand-holdy tutorials. It's borderline a necessary evil at this point. Am I going to care about the tutorial? No. Despite what you've seen for the past 5 minutes, I know how to play these games. At least on Wii and Switch I do. Apparently I don't on the GameCube anymore. And two, that right there is a shake-up to the formula. Technically. And it appears they've added, not more dialogue, because 3 had dialogue. They've added more one-on-one character interactions and, like, a little bit of a team-up mechanic. But I'll put it as more dialogue and characters is what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to call it story because not once has it been hinted to us that, like, the story would be explored through these characters. It will be to an extent because they're part of it. But I think you're going to experience most of that through scanning. So I'm going to say they added a tutorial and they added more dialogue and NPC interactions. One-on-one interactions specifically, like more meaningful ones. That right there, like, people wanted a shake-up to the formula so it would be more commercially successful. Those two things right there are your shake-up. That's it. That's the shake-up that everybody was asking for. That's in a lot of games these days, and it will appeal to a broader audience. That right there is what people were asking for. Now everyone's outraged by it. That is my take on the matter. I think there's plenty of ways they could have shaken up the formula that would have been a complete friggin' catastrophe. Open world would have been a catastrophe. Non-stop dialogue would have been a catastrophe. If you were just riding the bike, or if like the open world section didn't have a ton, catastrophe. If it straight up just didn't feel like a Metroid Prime game, catastrophe. This right here is a mild shakeup to the formula, similar to what 3 did when it came out, and even what 2 did when it came out, versus this game. So, I personally do not see the outrage. That is my take on the situation. And that is coming from someone who, from everything I've seen about this character and heard about him, you know, it's like, they say it's like he's like MCU level humor. I don't like MCU level humor. I'm probably not gonna like this character. That doesn't mean it ruins the game for me. He's gonna be there for the first hour, probably. And maybe you revisit him as time goes on, but eventually he's gonna shut up. The one character ain't gonna ruin the game for me, but the internet would have you thinking otherwise. But that's why I typically don't get involved in these conversations. But, as I said on Twitter, I felt the need to comment on this one. I basically said these exact same things on Twitter. It's like, this is what you people were asking for, a shake-up to the formula to make it more commercially successful. I think a hand-holdy tutorial, and I'm gonna keep saving since I had a freezing issue. A hand-holdy tutorial and some more dialogue and a little bit more of main characters being involved, that's quite a healthy compromise. That is a solid, but not overbearing shakeup to the formula. But everybody's doom posting about it to the point where, you know, people who are on the fence about getting this game are gonna end up not buying the fucking thing because all everyone's doing is complaining about it. Like, let's wait until we play the game before we pass judgments like that. That's why, like I said, I never get involved in this because it's all just a bunch of negative Nancy's going crazy over nothing. Just, social media should have never been invented. But for this, I felt because, like, I'm very passionate about this game and this series. I was when Thousand Year Door came out, y'all know that. I wanted people to buy it like crazy. I was almost like trying to help promote it because the series means so much to me. And I want to see that series return to form. I want to see this series not even return to form, just like, it's keeping its form. I just want it to exist again. It's not gonna, if this game doesn't sell well, it's not gonna exist again. And if people keep complaining about it, it's not gonna sell well. So I think people just need to cool it and play the damn game. Honestly, I think some of the things this guy said were funny. Like, I think what he said, like, geez, are you always so quiet or whatever? I thought that was hilarious. And the way Samus just kind of like, even though she has her visor on, you can't see her eyes or her face. You could tell she was just like glaring him down like, is this fucking guy serious? And I think that's awesome. Give Samus a little more personality. I think that would be a great shake-up to the formula. I actually love that part of Other M. The fact that they tried to give her a story. Do I agree with the story they told? Hell no. But I loved that they tried it. I can use some missiles right now. But I ain't gonna get any. You know, it's like, all because Nintendo posted that GIF with the caption, "Are you ready to put wheels to sand?" Everybody went insane. And said, oh, here we go, open world of nothingness, open world slop. And then once that was proven wrong, everyone's just like, oh, too much dialogue, too much NPC crap. Like, give it a rest, just play the game, people. Whether you're a diehard Metroid fan or not, just give it a rest, play the game if you want to. For me, I think it's the best looking Switch game we've ever had. Switch 1 or Switch 2, to clarify. But the thing that got me was, like, I can't believe, like, there was a couple publications, but this Miles guy was universally hated. He really was. And again, I get it. It's such a deviation. Like, typically, there's not someone that walks around, and there's never been someone who makes jokes in a Metroid game. So I get it. But let's wait until the game comes out. I personally don't think it's going to be super overbearing. I don't think it's going to impact the quality of the game. I will say this. Whoever they have narrating these trailers, I think at this point they're just playing into the bit. In that first trailer they showed for the Switch 1 Direct back in March, they said Samus can use her new powers to open doors. As if, like, that's some sort of, like... But the way he said it was just, like, so mysterious. They made it sound like this game-breaking, like, revolution in gaming. Like, you can open doors. Like, just the way they said it was funny, and I think they realized that. They had a moment like that in this trailer where they said... Where they were highlighting Samus's abilities. They're just like, the Power Beam, the Morph Ball, the ability to jump. Just the way he said it, the ability to jump. As if this is like a new, like, revolution in gaming that Nintendo themselves essentially almost, like, they essentially almost invented it. It's like, for Christ's sake, Mario's original name was Jumpman. Come on now. But just the way they're doing it, it's funny. That's our fearless bounty hunter. She can jump. See, I do like that. I'm trying to think of anything else. Okay, so the save station detected mechanic is actually obnoxious in this game. It is not like that in the Wii. That's a difference, I guess. Never knew that was a thing. Actually, it's gotten to the point where I'm going to turn that off. I find it mildly annoying. Does that mean I don't think this game, does that mean I think this game isn't perfect now? Fuck no. Still a perfect game. Christ almighty, you people gotta calm down. So yeah, long story short, I am excited. I'm very excited. I think this is going to be the Metroid Prime game I don't want to say I was looking for, because I didn't think there would be NPCs in here. But again, I guess I would say it's what I'm looking for, though, because that is kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping for some NPC interaction. You know, save the isolation for, like, a different game or something. Like, you can still feel isolated in this game, too, but, like, let's do some world building here. You know, this is 3D Metroid. You got a chance to be really cinematic about it. Let's get some dialogue in here, you know? So yeah, this feels like the Metroid Prime game that that we all wanted, maybe not all wanted, this feels like the Metroid Prime game that I've wanted for 18 friggin' years now. Since 2007. Well, I shouldn't say that. The first time I played Prime 2 and 3 was 2010. So, since 2010 for me, personally. Let's see if I can reach that here. Can I? I can do it on the Wii. Now we can get this one. Fuck it. I don't think we can. There we go. Yeah, it feels like of course, was it worth the 8-year wait? Fuck no. Absolutely not. I don't think any game's worth an 8-year wait, but hey, this was the hand we were dealt. They had to reboot the whole thing, and they got super, super ambitious with it, and then essentially more or less kind of delayed it so it could be part of the Switch 2 launch lineup. But this is going to be, in my opinion, not a disappointment. That's for damn sure. I've seen enough to where I firmly believe it's going to be a great game. Eyeballs. Stuck on Jesus. So yeah, that's my spiel. Thanks, YouTube. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Sorry I keep saving. I'm very paranoid after those 2 disk freezing issues I had. I'm trying to think what else, if there's anything I saw in there that I can discuss now and then just vacate from my brain immediately after, so I can be as fresh as possible when the game comes out. I do like that we kind of really don't know much. Like, they've hinted at things. They've said the Lamorne, are they friend or foe? Which who knows? We don't know. We really don't. And it's probably going to stay that way until the game releases. There was a lot of footage around online today, though, with this Miles guy, with, like, actual gameplay footage of, like, the first hour and a half. Like, you could probably piece together, with very minimal to no effort, probably the first hour and a half of this entire game, like, in its entirety. I don't want to do that, so I'm probably not going to look at much content. I've seen already more than I wanted to see. But there's a lot of content out there right now, and it's kind of crazy. I did not think they would release that much. But even that being said, like, even if you were to piece it all together and, like, you know exactly how the first hour and a half of this game is going to play out, whoops. That was impressive. You still don't know what's really, like, we know who Silex is. He's a rival hunter that just doesn't like Samus because he's, as for all we know right now, it's just because he's a hater. He has a beef with the Galactic Federation. He has Metroids. That's what we know. We don't know anything about his background. We don't know his true, like, motivations. We don't know who these Lamorne are. We know nothing about them. Again, they've hinted, friend or foe, we don't know. Nintendo has done a great job in an era where a lot of trailers or a lot of game releases involve, like, I feel like you spoil too much of the game. Like, Sega's very guilty of that. Sonic Shadow Generations, I knew all of the levels that were in this game because they announced them before release, and I wish they friggin' didn't. Like, I would have loved to have been I get they need to market the game so people will buy it, but I felt like I experienced like half of the game before it was released. And that was my game of the year last year. But it was a big flaw in the marketing. They showed too much. And that happens a lot these days. Nintendo feels like they've shown a ton of this game, yet at the same time, we are still completely in the dark with most of it. That is awesome. And I am going to continue to make sure I am in the dark on this game. Without a doubt. Like, like right now, as y'all know, I'm a big Zelda fan. Any canon Zelda game, I always do a first play of it. I love Zelda that much. There's a canon Zelda game out right now. I am not playing it because I knew I wouldn't finish it in time with the schedule that I had. And even if I didn't have that schedule, I wasn't going to finish it in time for Air Riders with the way I play Zelda games. It's like a slow burn. I wouldn't have finished it before Air Riders came out. Air Riders is my priority number 2. Prime's my priority number 1. So I have everything Zelda related muted right now, and I have not seen any spoilers. I might do the same for Metroid. Whoa, that was a burp. I might mute everything Metroid related until I beat my first run through of this game. I honest to God might do it. That being said, I'm always down to discuss things. Feel free to reach out, pop up in the Discord, comment here if you want. You know, but let's keep it, you know, spoiler free and keep it to the content we already have. Yeah, at this point, I don't want to engage in many more discussions. Typically, I would watch like an analysis video on YouTube, usually from Rule of Two Review or Andres Restart. They both do great reviews of this series. I probably will not watch anything because at this point I've seen all I needed to see. I've seen a little more, like I've said, that I wanted to see. So those are my thoughts summarized in roughly an hour. Holy fuck. I could ramble about this series forever, can't I? This series and Paper Mario, like there's other series I could ramble about too, but the Metroid Prime series and the Paper Mario series, man, I could go on and on and on and on. Part of me is hoping still too that they give us some kind of, I don't think they're going to do a direct. They would have by now. They've already shown too much, in my opinion. At this point, please don't do a direct. Like, please don't. You've shown plenty. Lost my train of thought there. Yeah, no direct. You know. Let's let it ride out. There was something else I was going to say in there, and I don't remember what the hell it was. Oh yeah, it was with 2 and 3. Yeah, I hope they put 2 and 3 on there, but we probably would have needed a direct for that to happen. And at this point, again, I don't want a direct. So I guess we're not getting 2 and... We'll get 2 and 3 eventually. I do want to see a proper remaster. I'm going to be disappointed if 2 just comes to NSO. I would like to see a proper, like, remaster, at least HD upscaling of it. If not, oh well, I guess it is what it is. I know those games aren't as popular, and Nintendo probably saw the sales for this one. Despite it being only $40, I think it only sold like 1.3 million or something. They didn't market it very well, to be fair. But, so I don't know if we'll ever see those. I hope we do. If we can see Pikmin 1 and 2, I don't know why we can't see Metroid Primes 2 and 3 come over. Maybe it'll happen after the fact, but I kind of like it in a sense, though. Like I said, I could keep talking and talking. Because if they give you the pressure to play those, people are gonna think, you know, oh shit, I need to play these to understand the story. You don't. This is a new story. Completely new story. And the fact that they aren't porting 2 and 3 over is just them doubling down on the fact that you don't need to play those games to understand this one. You probably don't even need to play Hunters to understand it. Actually, you definitely don't, because they didn't really expand on Silex as a character in that game at all. You just need to know the ending cutscene of Prime 3 and the ending cutscene of Federation Force. That's it. That's it, folks. That is it. can't believe I died twice to the fucking Hive Mecha. I should be shot. Another thing while I'm thinking about it with Prime 4, no more analysis, I promise. I've already rambled on long enough to the point where my mouth is dry. Another thing with Prime 4, I don't know how the difficulty settings are going to be. I would assume you would think they would have a... I don't know if they'd have an easy mode. I would assume there's at least going to be a normal and a hard difficulty to start, and maybe you unlock, like, super hard or hyper or whatever you want to call it. Who knows? Will I play it on the hardest difficulty available from the jump? I don't know. But if they give me an option to play it on other than normal, I am absolutely going to do that. I am going to play this. If they give me an option to play on hard difficulty on my first playthrough, I'm going to do that. Hell, I might even... Maybe I'd give hyper mode a try? I do feel like they will give you the option to change it as you go, though, if you think it's... Like, they're not going to make you restart your playthrough. Like, that's like a modern gaming thing. I think they would allow you to change it. But I'm probably going to start it on the hardest difficulty available. One, because I know the Metroid Prime formula. I'm not really worried about it being too hard for me, even if they do scale up the difficulty, and I kind of hope they do. You know, I want to die. I want to be challenged. Greatly challenged on my first playthrough of this game. That is how I want my first experience of this game to be. I don't want to just breeze through it and just, like, you know, cruise through for the story. Yeah, I mean, I do want to learn the story, but I don't just want to cruise through this one on my first playthrough. Like I did for the revisits, where I just played on normal difficulty. God, he sent me for a ride, jeez. I do, in fact, plan on playing it on hard difficulty. If they have it available. If not, so be it. Our second run will be on hard mode then. We're going to do multiple runs of that game, folks. Multiple. Before we call it quits. Did I scan that? No, I didn't. Jeez. Yeah, we will be running through that game multiple times before we move on from it. And we'll technically we'll never move on from it, unless it's ass somehow. But, like, again, this game is part of my regular rotation. 2 and 3 are part of my semi-regular rotation. 4 will become part of that semi-regular rotation as well. Ass. This thing spawned faster in this version. Hello? Where are you? Oh, you're right in front of me. Nice miss, jackass. I think I passed one, didn't I? Yeah, it's on the wall over there. Yarg. I think Kirby Air Riders will be part of my semi-regular rotation too, honestly. I fucking love Air Ride so much. Like, again, I've never been into the Kirby as an IP. I've only ever played one other game, and that was Kirby's Adventure for the NES. I briefly touched Kirby and the Crystal Stars, First Shards, that is it. But I love Air Riders. That was one of my, probably top 5 GameCube game for me for sure. So that'll probably be part of the semi-regular rotation. Kind of tough, you know, my schedule keeps getting more and more packed with games, because I have other revisits and, like, first plays I want to do too. But, it's like I keep having less and less time to stream for the most part. So I don't know, we'll have to find a balance. Figure out some way to do this if I want to keep streaming Star Fox and Paper Mario amongst all this other stuff. I even got to figure out a way, like, I was kind of lacking on Sonic and Zelda content this year, in my opinion. Not that I stream Zelda a ton anyway, even though it's... Metroid might be my favorite IP at this point, but... Zelda was for quite a bit. It's just not a streaming game for me, you know? Anyway, I'm rambling about shit and shit. You know. Anyway, let me, now that I've rambled for an hour, let me get a drink. and use the bathroom. I'll be right back. We'll go for about another hour or so. Alright, I'm back from the war. Christ. Dinner did not sit well tonight. Alright, Flagra, let's do this. Again, that's me in for the head now. Yep. As it always does. You know, you can tell they, like, evened out some of, like, the animations there, like, right there. I don't want to say that felt clunky, but, like, it felt smoother on the remaster. I don't know why that just popped into my head now, but it definitely doesn't function like that on remaster. All fucked by this thing. Let's go. More horseplay. For what the monkey considers business, the horse considers play. Got a little eager there. Whee! I had fun spinning, I apologize. GG's as always, Flagra. Doesn't matter if I'm playing the GameCube, the Wii, or the Switch. You're always an easy clap. Just almost went out my window there. Nobody acknowledged the fact that Samus just has the ability to float. Like, all she's doing is getting a new suit. Why can she float? Other than she's badass, of course. That's enough of a reason. That's another thing I saw today that popped into my head. I guess you do lose your abilities at the beginning of the game, which I guess that's not really a surprise. I expected that to happen, but part of me was wondering, like, are they gonna do it? Are they not gonna do it? Are you just gonna start the game without the abilities? Like, will they end that, like, you know, typical thing? Whee! Yeah, we're not gonna go that way yet. Do that eventually. Let's hope we don't freeze on the elevator again. Last time we went down an elevator, we did. Good stuff. Alright, I think that blip on the radar is behind us. When you think about it, I think the Metroid Prime series was always meant to be a more welcoming extension of the Metroid series. Like, it is objectively easier than the 2D games in my opinion, and that's not just because I've played them more. It's just easier. You have a hint system here. Much more, you know, in-your-face one. So I don't know why people are worried about that so much. You can probably turn it off. I mean, you probably can't turn off his dialogue. Like, that's a necessary portion of the game. But just because they didn't give you this tutorial... Like, maybe this game could have benefited from a tutorial. That way you don't need to have a hint system on. When you see a save station door, you go to it. I don't know. We'll see. Enough complaining about Miles McKenzie. Because he's not going to ruin the game, despite what the Doom posters might say. Only thing I'm worried about and why I'm so fired up about it is because these Doom posters are going to make people not buy the friggin' game. Oh, MCU level humor. Okay, well the MCU happens to have hundreds of millions of fans. Maybe it needs a little MCU humor or something like that. To be fair, I don't want that. I don't want a ton of it. I really didn't want any of it, but if there's a little bit of it, it's not going to ruin the game for me, you know? Like, give some of these characters personalities. Nothing wrong with that. That's what they're doing. The more personality and the more characters we're introduced to in the world, the more limitless future possibilities for this series become. And that's what we all want. That's what I want, at least. Let's see. I always get turned around down here. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. Nice jingle. Love the jingle. Yeah, this hasn't thrown me off as much as I thought. I mean, it threw me for a loop on the Hive Mecha fight for some reason. And I get confused when I'm trying to switch to Scan Visor for some reason. But other than that, this has not confused me as much as I thought it would. Nice pass, buddy. Now get me out of here. Thanks. Thanks for the assist on that one. It definitely doesn't feel as good to play as it does on the Wii, though, that's for sure. Like, the Wii, for me, is the pinnacle of Metroid Prime, the best way to play the games. It just feels so immersive. Like, it just takes what was already perfect and just takes it to another level. Oh, man, I struggle with jumping in this game, I've noticed. On certain platforms. I think I'm jumping too early. Taking a lot of damage here. I gotta calm down. Alright, this time, gotta do it right. Come on, 3 for 3. Don't mess with me. Perfection. We settle for nothing less than perfection here. That was a nice addition, though, being able to jump just by doing a little, like, boop. Love that. It's such a, just a perfect addition. I think it was a little foggier than it was in the other iterations of this game. Yes, no, maybe. Hello, Phendrana. This game was so ahead of its time, man. Look at this. Except for the fact that her feet were facing through the ground there. But hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I really should learn how to properly speedrun this game so I don't have to do this obnoxious, not obnoxious backtrack. I don't think there's an obnoxious backtrack in this game. You know what I mean, though, like, it shaves off a ton of time. Like, because you have to go... Basically, you're stuck backtracking to Phendrana a lot. And a lot of it can be avoided if you just get the space jump boots right from the jump. Come get some. Come on. That was close. Double kill. I always say, if you guys ever want a tutorial on how to run directly into these things, let me know. I can help you out. Yeah, being able to just like freely look around in this game, oh my god, just like with the pointer, it enhances it so much. Like right now I feel like I can only face one direction because I can only face one direction. And it impacts my fuck. It impacts my fuck. That's what it does. It impacts my fuck. My ability to jump is what I wanted to say. Might be kind of close here. Maybe not. Give me the boost. I'm moving like Tony Hawk. Man, in this game, that does not happen in the... Like, when you hit something, you really bounce off, and I think that's what was throwing me off. Quite literally, in the Hive Mecha fight. I was getting thrown for farther distances. Yeah, I'm glad I chose this for tonight. I love me some Metroid Prime. Cutscene. And there's something blasting at us from behind there. Hi, Ridley. One thing I do hope is that Ridley's not in this game. I love Ridley to death. Ridley's one of my favorite villains. But one of my least favorite things in all of media is the constant, like, rebirth of villains just because they're, like, popular. You know, like, they can't die. Like, we had Ridley, then we had Meta Ridley, then we've had Meta Ridley again, then we've had, like, 2 other forms of Ridley after that. Like, I get it, like, it's what's attached to the IP, but Ridley has canonically died multiple times. Kraid has canonically died multiple times. Technically, here, I think Ridley could still be alive. Based on... We don't know where the timing is going to be. On the timeline. We're pretty sure we know, but we don't know. Ridley is probably still alive. Kraid is definitely still alive. We know that much, unless it's after Dread. But let's spice it up a bit, you know? Let's give Sylux his time to shine after all these years. We don't need Ridley in this game, and I don't think it makes sense for Ridley to be in this game, to be quite honest. We are transported to some random planet, and other than the fact that space pirates are involved, I don't think Ridley has anything to do with this story. You know, who knows if we're even going to see space pirates on Buros, you know? It's, yeah, that way I want to go. I do not want to see Ridley in this game. I want them to spice it up. You know, maybe we could get like, I don't know, something like Crocomire or something like that. You know, I'm not against like a cameo from a recognizable villain, but we've had quite a bit of Ridley, and we've had, I would say, probably enough Kraid as well. That was another thing. Back to my little rant about how companies spoil too much about a video game before it releases. I'm in a mashing mood. Hold on. There we go. Nintendo themselves did it with the Metroid franchise. They told us Kraid was in the game like a month before the damn thing released. Like, that would have been such a cool thing to find out on our own, you know? There we go. And shit. Going through the lava. What else do we got? What else do I have on my Metroid Prime 4 wish list? I have no idea. I've been talking for this about this for an hour and a half now. And I've done it before. For less significant trailers, I might add. There's literally footage of me doing it while playing Metroid Prime Remastered. Hello. One thing I would, while I'm thinking about it, one thing I would love to do on this channel eventually, I guess you would call it, it's not really substantial, but I'm kind of doing almost the same thing right now. A Metroid Prime 2 first play on GameCube. I've never played that game. Literally never played it on GameCube. I did not own it on GameCube as a child. I didn't own it at all on GameCube until like a year and a half ago when I added it to the collection. Oh, this should be a fun jump for me. Holy shit, we got it. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I knew I fucked that immediately. Yeah, I've never played it on GameCube. I would love to do so. Of course. There it is. Now maybe I'll even do Corruption. I own Corruption now on its own too. Of course, that's just on its own disc. It's the same as Trilogy, I believe. I don't think they changed anything. It might have improved morph ball physics too. Like, it feels a little heavier in this game. There it is. boot that I'm not good enough to get the speedrunner's way. I need to sit up a little here. My neck hurts. It's getting too old to be sitting like that all the time. Okay. Let's, we have something we can get here, so let's get it quick. There it is. Why did I go back here? That's not where I'm supposed to go. Am I stupid? Especially that's the elevator that made me freeze. Why would I do that? I just be doing shit. Y'all know this. I just be doing shit and whatnot. I wonder how it would feel to play Metroid Prime Remastered with the GameCube controller and use the OG control scheme. I've always wondered how it would feel to play with Wii-style controls with two Joy-Cons, but I kind of already know how that would go. The motion sensitivity just isn't as good on the Switch. You'd have to keep resetting and shit like you always have to do on friggin' Galaxy. I still barely even... I bought that, and I barely played it. I just buy... When it comes to video games, I just buy things. And then I don't spend money otherwise. Like, I'm the cheapest person you will ever meet. But if it's a video game, I have no problem spending money on it. I basically paid $70 because I am a die-hard physical collector just to get Mario Galaxy 2 on my Switch, because I have 3D All-Stars. I still have both of these games. They're sitting right there. I can see them for the Wii. It's a Z button for the map. That's right. I love the Z button. The Z button is so cool. Like, why they thought to just put a button here but not one here. I love it. What a time to be alive. This really is the best controller of all time. I will not hear any debate on this topic. It just feels so right sitting in your hands, not even in like a nostalgic way. Like, it's like perfectly designed. Like the way the handles are shaped, it like fits right in your palm. It's perfect. here. You always get skull fucked by these things unless you're on your game. Ass. Now, of course, we can go get a Chozo artifact right now, but we have no need to because eventually we need to go up there for a power bomb expansion. Time efficiency. Ow. Time efficiency. Run right through the fog. Use that boost ball. Oh boy. Jeez. Yeah, you really get sent flying on this version of the game. Adds to the challenge, honestly. Makes you not want to run into things as much. Holy shit, I got that on the first... That was probably the best I've ever made that jump, honestly. Holy shit. I should save, actually. Yeah, I don't have a lot of health. I want to make that run again. Hey, Brighten Eyes, what's up? How we doing on this lovely Friday? I'm here doing what I usually do, playing Metroid Prime, except I'm doing it on the GameCube for the first time in over 10 years. As crazy as that sounds. Like I always say, I always played this game on the Wii, and of course I played the remaster. I have not played it on the Cube in a long, long time. Ow. Let's use a missile. Jesus Christ, I fell! Oh, I'm so bad at video games. There we go. Okay, alright, there we go. Bright and Nice, thank you so much as always. Thank you for the subscription. Happy to have you on board. Love hearing the artifact sound jingle as well, given the game I'm playing. But yes, thank you so much as always. Much appreciated. Wait. Oh, I don't need a charge. I need the missile for that. I'm stupid. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't think you can get that on this, because you need to be like... Oh, no, you can. Okay, well, fuck me sideways. Look at that. Yeah, look, a wave beam that I'm sure will... I know there's a boss fight here in the other. I'm sure there's probably not a boss fight in this version. They probably added that after. Nope, there's a boss fight. As we know. down he goes. Big Sheegoth. Ah! I'm being trampled. I think it went AFK on me. Jesus. It's like its batteries died there for a few seconds and just stopped. Good riddance. I'm moving wave up, wrong way. I'm moving wavy. Whoops, that was the wrong button. So let's see. Ah, the C stick, right, okay. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually. That feels like just right, honestly. Like, it's been... Like I say, it's been so long since I played this on the GameCube. Like, that just feels right. Like, it just makes sense. Open her up. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to save because I think that freezing issue is behind us. At least for the novelty of it. We're not going for 100% scan. Those spinners. I think I'll try to cut it off right at the Thardis fight. That's usually where I cut it off. It's either the Thardis fight or the right when we enter phase on mines. That's usually where like I break it off. Now, probably if I stop it at Thardis, I'll probably Tuesday's stream will be a little lengthy. God, I can't really afford that. Hey, we'll just have to move fast. Or start a little early. Because I have pinball finals, and I made the A division in my league for the first time ever. I'm very proud of myself. But I am good at pinball. I am not as good as, like, a lot of the people that play and regularly make A division. I'm gonna be there till like 11:30, whether I do good or not. I'm not gonna get sleep that night, and I need to be well rested for that, so I perform well anyway. But again, I am also not going to get sleep that night, guaranteed. I can't go back-to-back sleepless, borderline sleepless nights the night before Kirby friggin' Air Riders releases. Because I gotta have enough energy to stream that for 3 or 4 hours. Otherwise, I'll be a zombie here, riding around in my GameCube Wagon Star, my Shadow the Hedgehog Swerve Star. Hopefully they give me a good Shadow Star color, too. Got lucky there. Kind of forgot that you get fucked by things in this game. They just throw you. There we go. I'm starting to figure out the jumping physics. It's like slightly different. Slightly different. Right, into arguably the best part of the game here. There he is. It does function a little differently too. You gotta hold it in longer for that charge. Do your worst. It balls to the wall. Grab our map. I'm just gonna gotta stop sitting like that. My neck's hurting. Ow, fuck. Jesus. That is the biggest difference, I want to say, in between like the versions of this game. Like, you get thrown in this with contact. Like, Samus apparently has no weight to her, which she should. No offense, but like, you know, she's like 6'4" and muscular as fuck. She should have some weight to her. She shouldn't be getting thrown around by security camera blasts. Up we go. Boom. Able to get that on our way back. Nice. Destroyed all my cover in one shot. That's how you do it. Ooh. Surprise, motherfucker. This game does drop frames sometimes. I could just do my shitty disc too, for all I know. I have no idea. Where'd you come from? Top of the morning. Die. Puzzle music, hell yeah. Love the puzzle music. Whew. There we go. Super missile. Oop, fuck that up. No, I'm not saving here. I ain't no bitch. was way up there. Took a lot of damage here, jeez. To be fair, I always take a lot of damage from these guys. That GameCube just made a terrifying sound. I thought it just, like, ceased to function. Like, not even the disc stopped reading. I thought it just, like, shut off. Turns out it can't handle the pure epicness of this scene, which most things can't, to be fair. That's a Metroid, ladies and gentlemen. I always look fondly on this scene because it's my first ever experience with a Metroid. Where it all began for me. Legitimately, the first time I walked into this room, I'm just like, ooh, what's this thing? Like, I didn't fucking know at the time. And next thing you know, I'm just like, oh shit, that's a Metroid. That's what the game's named about. Whoa, look at this. I have the high ground. I have the high ground. Never knew you could even do that. Yeah, this is infinitely better on the Wii. Again, it's still good here. It's just, you know, it's just better on the Wii. Sorry, it just is. Got him. Fuck, there we go. I was stuck. It's another thing. I think I already expressed my desires in one of my previous playthroughs. This desire for Metroid Prime 4, but like, make shit hard to find. Like, don't like, were those hard? No, not necessarily, but like, you know, like if you're not paying attention, if you're just running and gunning, you'll pass them. Like, make this shit hard to find. Challenge me. Make me think. You know, of course, there's going to be, like, the gimmies here and there. Like, I already know there's one energy tank that's just a gimme. But that'll happen, you know. It's... Make me think on most of them. I'll be happy. I'm not a hard man to please. Yippee! Now we get to exit in the dark. Whoa, that had an interesting path, to say the least. Stairs are a little harder to navigate now. I wonder if I'm gonna 100% this. Actually, no, we'll still probably do 100% pickups. I'm just thinking about the amount of time I'm gonna have for the rest of tonight and Tuesday. But we'll get it all. Because it's fun to do so. Alright, I gotta defeat these guys. Duh. Just walk past these guys. Oh yeah, these things really have a kickback here. Yeah, we gotta climb here. Let's see. Can I make it without defeating them? Probably not. I probably won't survive. Jeez. Holy fuck. What am I stuck on? Christ. Although, instead of finishing this, there is one other option I could do on Tuesday. Although I kind of... No, I shouldn't say I committed to it. I can kind of do whatever I want, but... I could stream Kirby Air Riders on Tuesday. That way I could say I got one of each in before the big drop of both. I don't know. We'll see. I do kind of want to finish this, though. We'll think about it. There's not like much I could do on Kirby Air Riders without multiplayer anyway. I can just do what I usually do, which is horse around in City Trial for 2 hours, like I did during my Retro Ting test stream. It's such a cheap place to put one of those. Fuck off. I know I'm in bad shape. I know. Let's not even chance it. Just destroy him. We're definitely saving. Turns out I should have been a bitch. Shit, it did it again, it did it again. Okay, the door opened, thank God. Yeah, my GameCube does not like this portion of the game. Right. Should be shot. I am kind of feeling air ride now. We'll see. Because I don't think I'm going to leave myself enough time to, you know, finish this. Such is the busy nature of my life lately. Whoops. Oh god. That would have been a bad corner to get caught in. It's all foggy in here and whatnot. Alright, let's do a little quick save-a-rooney here. I think that'll be it for tonight. Will I have time to finish this on Tuesday? Who knows? Who knows? But nonetheless, even if we don't, I'm glad I got some of my Metroid Prime 4 thoughts out. Everybody just gotta relax with it, you know? It's gonna be a good game. It is going to be a good game. Without a doubt. People will see on release day. Right, Samus? Thumbs up. Exactly. So, anyway. Once again, y'all are great. Next stream's Tuesday. It'll either be this or Air Ride. One of the two. And then Thursday, the party starts. That's when Kirby Air Rider starts, and I'm so excited. We might stream Friday as well. Don't know yet. That would depend on quite a few things, but I'm thinking no Friday, definitely no Saturday. I have a wedding to go to. The nerve of one of my friends to get freaking married on Kirby Air Riders weekend. And then we're definitely going to stream Sunday. And then the next week, like I said, it's just going to be when we're available. Like, I could go live at 6 or 7 p.m. anytime, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Thursday's Thanksgiving. I pretty much already have my day planned. I won't go live that day. Friday, I'd be shocked. Saturday afternoon is basically a lock. Maybe Sunday. Not certain on that yet. But pretty much just we're going to stream it whenever we can until Prime 4 comes out. And then Prime 4, we have our schedule. Thursday, the instant I get home from work. Friday, I took off. We'll probably go live around 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. I plan on that day being a 7-hour stream minimum. And then doing the same exact thing again Saturday, starting around like 12-ish and going until like 7 p.m. or something like that. And then Sunday, we will also do like 4 hours, probably like 11 to 3 or something. We're locked in. And then the next week, if we haven't beaten the game by then, we're going to stream it every day the following week after I get home from work. We're not going to stop. Busy times coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, once again, y'all are great. Shout out to Sets for stopping by. Shout out to Bright and Eyes for stopping by and for the sub. Y'all are great. Love the viewers. And again, exciting stuff coming soon. I'll see you Tuesday. Peace out.